Hello, this is Dr. Moyer, and I wanted to cover a few things. Your final presentations are coming up, and as well as your final written reports. So I wanted to go over a few things along with the assignment that I put in your discussion box this week. So let's start there, the discussion box. Hold on one second. Here it is. Okay, so I asked you guys to locate a current popular media item or article, could be from any source, and it just had to report some type of statistical data. Then I wanted you to conduct your own little research excursion to locate the actual source of the data that was reported in the article, and then to answer these questions. So what I found was an article by Brett Skier. It was posted on Huffington Post today, and it discusses breakup and how our brain reacts like when we're going through a cocaine drug withdrawal. So in the quote from the article is, "Love is a drug and it's really hard to quit." So here is that article. This was posted today. Science explains why you feel so bad after a breakup. Caught my eye because I teach sex ed, so I thought I would take a look at it. And this is something that I do on a regular basis. I'm not always looking in academic journals. I look in popular media, and then I go to the source. What was nice about, and happens often on Huffington Post, is that they give you a link to the research. So when I clicked the link, it brought me to the actual article in Journal of Neurophysiology. And so that was actually very helpful. So I was able to complete the assignment using information from this link. So that's what I said. There was a link. I indicated which journal it was published in. These are the authors. And it was published in 2010. The sample size was 15 people, 10 women and 5 men. They asked them to look at pictures. So they actually brought in pictures of their exes. And then they had some other, the researchers had some other neutral pictures so they could establish a baseline on the MRI. And then they could look at what part of the brains were activated when they looked at pictures of their exes. And that's how they found that the same regions were activated in the same way as when people are going through drug withdrawal. They also answered a questionnaire. So there was a multi-method study. So they also reported like how long it had been since they broke up and how much they think about their ex, etc. The fourth question, how did the author report the findings from or did they report them accurately? I felt like they did. It was reported in a way that made it more accessible to a larger audience, which of course Huffington Post would need to do. But she didn't skew any of the findings. She didn't take any of the findings and go off in a direction that had nothing to do with the original study, which sometimes happens. Or sometimes researchers take statistics out of context. So the context may be that they're studying, I don't know, love and breakup, and they find that 50% of their sample go back to their partners after a period of time. And that's not the focus of the study, but it was reported in the study, and somebody might take that and say, you know what? 1 in 2 couples are going to get back together. So I don't know. I'm just trying to give you an example of that. My overall reaction to this assignment, I like this assignment. I do it when we have a face-to-face classroom and we talk about it. So we don't really get to talk about it, but we do via discussion. And I like that we view statistics every day and we don't even really think about it. But this is a good example of that. So that is the discussion post. And this is an IRB I'm working on. Okay, and this goes over the presentation that you guys have to submit on April 24th by midnight, along with your written report of the project that you're working on individually. So, Pachakacha is a style of presenting that is very quick. People don't have a lot of time to waste in this style. You have to move quickly. There are very specific rules about it, so no more than 20 slides can be used at a time, and the time limit in total is 400 seconds, which ends up being 6 minutes and 40 seconds. You cannot go over that time limit. You don't have to put text on the slides you use, and you don't have to use 20 slides. You could use less than that. 20 is the max. You can use pictures or other graphics and just talk if you wanted to. That will only be useful if you plan on narrating your PowerPoint. Otherwise, people will just stare at a picture and go, You don't have to narrate your PowerPoint, but if you don't, you need to make sure that everything is clear by just reading the text. So, and you can't put more than 40 words on a slide, so you can't bog it down with a ton of text. You have to really, this forces the presenter to really get to the point and get to it quickly. The PowerPoint slides, if you were standing up in front of class doing in the face-to-face version, you would stand away from the podium and present your findings while the PowerPoint would automatically advance behind you. And so you wouldn't be standing there clicking. People find that a little unnerving, but I suggest, regardless of whether you're doing it in person or submitting it over the internet, that you practice. And the 20 slides does include the title slide and the reference slide, so you don't really have a lot of time or a lot of slides. Here is the rubric that I will use to date. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind, you guys. To grade, not date, to grade your presentations. Now, you have some options. If you wanted to, this is a PowerPoint that Helen Marco did I guess it was 3 or 4 years ago now, for the stats class. When she started it, it did advance on its own, and she had it set up so that each slide was up for 20 seconds. So regardless of what it was, she timed them to be up there. She did a good job. She talked about the study, and used the PowerPoint as a guide. Because she was doing it in the face-to-face class, of course, she didn't have to narrate. Now, she could have posted this on the on D2L and have people just watch it on their own. It'll advance on its own because it's set to do that, and people can just sit back and read what it says. So that's an example of kind of a quiet one. The way that you control how making the PowerPoint move forward for you. Let me just open another one. Let's do sexual coercion. Okay, so this one isn't set up to go forward. This is one I use in my sex ed class. If I want to do that, I'm going to go to transitions. I want to advance slide, not on a mouse click, but after, let's just say 5 seconds, and I'm going to apply to all slides. Then I'm going to hit save. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to move that fast. That's fine for the title slide, but I might say, whoa, this is going way too fast. So I'm going to go back to transitions, and I'm going to do 5 seconds on this slide. I just wanted to see what that would do. Okay. And then when I get to this one, I'm going to say, you know what, I need 20 seconds here. Then when I get to this one, I just need 5. I did save 20. Okay, here I need, I'm going to say 15 seconds. And here I'm going to say I need 20. Now, there's a lot of text on these, and there wouldn't be this much text because it's not allowed, but this is just an example of showing you how to set this up. So then I'm going to hit save, and we're going to try this again. Slideshow from start. This is intimate partner violence, sexual assault, and rape. In this presentation, we'll look at intimate partner violence first, and then we'll talk about sexual assault and rape. We will do some defining, some statistics, understanding issues like leaving, and we'll finish up with resources for victims of all types of assault. It doesn't matter. The intimate partner violence is first. We'll start with, how do people end up in violent relationships? Well, they don't expect to. They're not prepared to. And romantic love stories or fairy tales don't prepare us for Prince Charming to be somebody that hits. So people don't expect to. That's how they end up there. Some statistics: every 9 seconds a woman's assaulted. Every day 4 women are murdered by a boyfriend or husband. 1 in 4 women will be the victim of some form of IPV at some point in their lifetime. Almost a third of female homicide victims are killed by an intimate partner. Okay, and I'm just going to stop that. You see how difficult that was with a lot of text. So if I had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay. So that's all the text I could have. That would be doable. I got through that part of it. And that's why it's so, and this one was set for 20 seconds, if you recall. Transitions, 20 seconds. So that's why you have to be careful with the text. And again, I would practice, particularly if you're going to do a voiceover. So how do you do a voiceover? If you're going to do that, you want to go home and then record slideshow. And so when I go to do this, that's what I click. That's for PC users. If you do have Mac, you can also use the QuickTime player, which is what I do to make your videos. So I just make a quick, a screen video, and then I start the presentation over and just start talking. Regardless, once you save it, once it's done, you have to save that PowerPoint or save the QuickTime file as the QuickTime will save it as a movie file automatically. But if you need to save this as a movie file, you'll have to look for, let's see, here it is, I'm sorry, MOV, right? And that allows you to save it as a movie file. And then when you go to upload it to PowerPoint, because that'll probably, you're trying to load the whole PowerPoint on D2L with a voiceover it's very difficult, and it won't always do it because of the size of the file. So what I do, of course, is go to handy dandy YouTube, as you know, and I hit, never mind the blackheads. I have a thing about popping blackheads. Don't. It's disgusting, I know. But it's just what I do. If you have your own YouTube account, you're going to go to, when you're home, my channel. And from my channel, you see I have things I like to watch. If you guys have ever seen Miranda sing, she's hilarious. And it also has all my videos. Then I'm going to go to upload. And I'm going to find that file. I don't even know where I just was. Let's see. Let me just find something. Okay, let's just do this one. Oh, and it will tell me that that wasn't a movie file. So I'm like, okay, let me find a movie file. And I think I was in 4840 Spring 16. Okay, you're going to see I have a lot of movie files here. So let's just say I'm going to grab Children in Poverty. You're going to get this screen. It takes a long time. Okay, that crash outside my door was my cats. I apologize for that. Once it gets uploading, you're going to click publish so that it can be published as soon as it's done. I oftentimes do it while it's, working on it. But you may want to return to editing. You can give a description here. You can make it private if you want to. If it's private, only you can view. If you want to share it with the class, which is you're going to need to be able to do, you're going to have to enter the email addresses for your classmates. If you need that list, let me know. But if you go to send an email in D2L, you can find that. So I'm just going to cancel this because I already have this uploaded. So how do I cancel? I don't even know how to cancel. Cancel upload. Okay. Cancel upload. So if you're in D2L and you want to send an email to the class, you may already know this, but I'm going to go through it anyway, just in case people don't know. You go to hit compose address book, and you see here you've got everyone's emails. So you could copy them that way, or you could select them all. It adds them there, add recipients. And then you could copy and paste them or print this out, whatever you wanted to do. But you can get the emails from here. The only person that isn't in the class is Katara because I added her so that she could refresh for her comps. So that's how you would make it private. Of course, you have to make sure my email's in there too. I hope that makes sense. It certainly wasn't meant to confuse you in any way. But that is how you do the transitions and how you do the voiceover. And then you would load it to YouTube, and that is what you'd submit. I also just want to point out that in the content, under assignments, I have listed an application project example to give you an idea. You'll notice this, they show how work is cited within the document. That's important. Pay attention to that. It also shows you how to create what the cover page should look like, and pretty much how to lay this all out. And the same here. So there's a second example of a written report that you can also view to just get ideas. Let's go back here. This is where you'll find the guidelines, the thing that I was looking at when we started this video. This shows you the grading rubric and the guidelines. So that's here. Also want to point out APA resources. So you have your APA is always a part of graduate school because you have to be able to cite your sources appropriately. All of us in FCS have this APA packet so that we're consistent across our classes in what we see APA as. This came from the manual. We all worked on it. So this is what we use. But there are some things that are not on there that you have to look up. And so I've given you the link at Purdue, particularly for non-print sources or electronic sources. So you may have to like cite a motion picture, whatever, television, or who knows. You may have other electronic sources that aren't in the APA packet. We couldn't put everything in there. So that's the deal with that. I hope this makes sense. Your projects are coming right up. If you need help, let me know. We can always Skype. We can talk. We can meet in person, whatever you need to do. You guys should have collected data by now since I gave you the go-ahead. If you haven't collected data, I would suggest that you get right on that because you do need to do that. And then you'll have to conduct the analyses that you talked about with me. You should know exactly what you need to do. You also, in addition to your research questions, you have to compute statistics on the demographics and report that. And then, let's see. So once you write that up, of course you have to have resources to write the statement of the problem. You're going to submit both of those into the Dropbox that I create for these assignments. Then I will distribute the links to the videos, and the week following when they're due, you guys will view each other's videos, and you're even going to vote on the best video. I'll create a survey in Qualtrics for you to do that. So that's the plan. Next week we have review. So what I was going to do is just give a little assignment similar to kind of what you're going to see on the exam, the final exam, just to refresh your memory and have you do that. You can work together. You can work as, in pairs if you wanted to, in small groups. But submit something. You only have to submit once if you work in small groups. Just one paper is fine. Put all your names on it. And I can email back everybody the contents. But I'll go through and just make sure you're on track. Okay? We never did cover ANOVAs. None of you have to do ANOVAs for your projects. And it's pretty rare that you would actually be doing an ANOVA. If you're out on the job and you're doing an ANOVA, you can always contact me even after you're gone and graduated, and I can help you with that. Okay? All right. That's me signing off.